Hi everyone, Rob Zagarella from N2N. This is a quick insight into our new N2N platform. N2N consists of two main parts. The N2N DL, which is the data layer that handles protocol translation, device encryption, data management, and device control. The data layer is then exposed via a common API into any visualization platform, including the N2N Viz, which is an example of a visualization system. The main challenge we're trying to solve here is seamless integration between devices to applications, which what we have seen over the last 3 years is one of a major bottleneck in terms of the growth and advent of IoT. So we can essentially take any device through any network or data source into the N2N DL API platform and expose that via a common REST API to any visualization platform, including Microsoft Azure, IBM Watson, Cisco Kinetic, Alibaba Cloud, and so on. One of the areas where N2N spends much of its time, of course, is working with the manufacturers of LoRaWAN and other types of devices to ensure that the various vertical markets in Australia can receive data very easily from devices that can be relied upon and that N2N can provide a service level over, and ensuring that the specific device protocols can be easily translated into the application and presentation layer of choice. So what we're going to see now is an example of the N2N Viz, which has really been designed to actually demonstrate and showcase what the API is capable of doing. And it provides a good reference point, if you like, for demonstrating the capability of IoT within an organization. So here is the N2N Viz. This was a system that was actually originally put in place for Newcastle City Council to have them demonstrate to a whole series of councils nationwide the benefits of actually having multiple application data presented on a single dashboard. So initially here we have an overview of where all of the different types of devices are installed, and each icon here represents the installation location or the presence of that device, and the icons represent the type of solution being presented, which includes waste management, track and trace, parking, soil moisture, water metering, and environmental information. So we can go here to the asset register, if you like, and each of these represents applications, and there's more applications that will come to market as required by our channel partners. So in the area of track and trace, of course, we can click over to the dashboard. We can see there's one device currently in use. We can locate that on the map, which shows us the location of that actual device. We can click on the arrow here, and we provide information such as a picture of the actual device, the asset details, current location, status messages, and status history. And you'll see a common theme, regardless of the type of application, of this type of information that's necessary around the asset, its location, messages, history, logging, and so on. So if we click down here, for example, yesterday, and we show that information on the map, and we can see the path of that asset, which is actually in one of the employees' backpacks, and we can see their route from home all the way through to Newcastle City Centre. And each of these numbers here represents the number of transmissions made at each of those locations. And then we have more information as we scroll down. So similarly, we can click on, if we're interested in, for example, what's happening around waste management. So we can click on waste management. We see we have 3 waste management sensors installed. We can click on one of those. And again, we see the asset information, which is the actual bin where the waste management sensor was deployed. We can see what its current filling information is and any alerts or information. The location, of course, and status messages, and then graphing information, which are the types of information that are interested in, regardless of the type of application, actually. And we get similar types of information here if we move over to soil moisture. Here we have a soil moisture device. The manufacturer is Sensorterra. This device actually has its information imported into the dashboard platform through the N2N DL via a separate API. And this really proves that we can actually import data from any source, whether it's from the device information itself over the LoRaWAN network or an API with access to that information from any type of network source. We can click here on the map and we can see where the 2 moisture sensors are located around number 2 sports ground. And we have the information here showing the actual soil moisture itself. Or we can just simply click on the map, click onto the detail link, and then we get the asset information again, which is the actual asset photo, which is captured at the time of installation. And we get soil moisture data and information over time, average per hour, and so on and so forth. And these applications, of course, will be, as I mentioned earlier, added. And these applications, think about that from an IoT exchange perspective. Applications come into the system based on the demand and the types of opportunities that our channel partners and resellers are engaged in. So if we go back now to the end-to-end data layer discussion, the end-to-end data layer itself is built on a massively scalable in-memory database technology called Redis. And that enables us to implement the API without adding any significant latency in the process from the device all the way through to the visualization platform. We have benchmarked the device platform simulating hundreds of thousands of devices on single servers, and the results are quite astonishing. So if we look at the API here itself, that API is built upon 2 parts, which is available on Swagger, which is an open standards-based API platform, if you will. And there's 2 components of the API. There's the authentication APIs and the actual sense APIs, which come from the devices themselves. And that's really important to have the infrastructure available to authenticate, which is very important from a security perspective and scalability perspective to any type of upstream platform. And there's really 2 types of authentication. There's authentication for users, which is based on username and passwords. And there's the authentication for the devices themselves. And authentication for devices is based on API secure keys. So the system is able to handle that at its core, which we believe is a very important aspect of the system. So the other component of the API is what we call the API sense. And this is the API that extracts the data and information from all of the types of devices, from all of the different types of network sources, as we spoke about earlier. And this is the API, of course, that's extended on a daily basis as we add more device information that's required into the system from our customers and partners. Thank you very much.